Compulsive neurotising of society. Through the implantation of certain behavior patterns on what ought to be regarded as good and what as bad in the minds of the patients, thus those who are the product of any current, their fantasies are directed towards an ideal, and their fantasies are the result of habits which are the effect of the obsessive, compulsive do's and don'ts of the causing superego. Thoughts are a flux of genetic tendencies, memories, summed interactions, possibilities, metabolic stimuli, desires, needs, and probabilities. By ordering these thoughts, an increased thousand probable outcome will manifest itself in the patient's mind. This outcome is the effect of trained behavior within controlled environments, like to compulsively write with your right hand under pressure of the superego, teachers, parents, psychologists, politicians, though impulsively your left hand is in your nature to use as the main hand. No singular flow of movements are allowed. Each body part is trained as a partial object, disconnected from the whole of the body. The mind is disconnected from the body, reality is disconnected from imagination, which results in fantasy. Demeanor is disconnected from bodily expression and health, via the replacement with clothes determining your status, not only in economic terms but also the state of well-being in regards with your emotional balance and rational thinking, such as brands accentuating fashion, countercultural. Sexual organs are disconnected from some somatic well-being, the left hand from its impulse, the lower body from the upper body through means of repeating habits depending on the work, the ears from the other senses by means of headphones, the headphones stimulating various emotions having its isolated impact upon the mind, the senses disconnected from the environment, taste disconnected from intent by an overflowing excess of rare nutrition, and the architect from the construction. Instead of the hammer being one of our tools, one of our extensions, one of the many other tools to build a house for yourself, we have become the extension of the hammer, specialization. Instead of hammering, sawing, measuring, designing, we merely hammer, or merely type on a keyboard. The hammer is not anymore an extension of your arm, but rather the arm has become the tool for the hammer. A specialized repeat interdependent upon the specialized repeats of other experts. Through the media, arts, public opinion, and overall education, images are seeded in the young minds which will limit the patient's conscience or overstimulate certain image stimuli to jump over the biological borders towards specific specialized, fantastic, detached, tolerance, desire, like hardcore pornographic images manifesting in the mind's flux of thoughts and resulting in a probable habit of thought to repeat in the fantasy and result in a sexual organ disconnected from a reality probability, to be stimulated by the compulsive right hand, only repeating its compulsive movements, as long the degree of hardcore stimuli is manifested in the mind. In specific dance, though may not be in connection with your overall nature, you discipline the mind by having a time habit. On this time you will repeat and repeat and repeat, until the repeating habit has become a second nature. First train your lower body, then your upper body, then both. Then improve certain time-dependent harmony, balance movements until each disconnected body part will synchronize and again will become a whole without contemplation. The repeatedly trained second nature might be dependent upon a partner's gender-related synchronic movements, choreography, and specific instrumental rhythm. If dependent upon choreography, the newly trained behavior specialization will be free only within the organized act contrary to walking, which you can do freely anywhere if the space permits it, or rhythm-dependent movements, which is your higher degree of freedom in dance, where the dancer can freely express him or herself based upon current emotions, or dancing with your past, memories, imagination, and not dependent upon a choreography of time and space. On this time of the rhythmic repeat, this will be your limited space. Creating new movements during the dance is a sign of freedom from restricting choreography, though each dance has its fundaments depending on the branch, the people and the rhythm. A folk dance develops over time. Ancestral possession, fundaments of the dance, historic and emotional expression, choreography, inborn behavior and interactive change in dance, freestyle, instrumental and poetic interconnections, an expression of a Volk. Parts and parts and parts synchronizing, repeat and rhythm, change and tradition, cultivation and impulses, a cultural synchronicity with person-variable freedom malformed into a tyrannizing, civilized compulsive sickness with no individual freedom, only an undividable schizotraining contrary to individual natures, persons dived, suppressed, directed, from a confusing natural character towards an artificial compulsive repeat, like a patient repeatedly being checked every 30 minutes before his inevitable death within a given time of 24 hours.